One of the practices that has been going around in my church, at least that I've been picking up from the other guys in my church, is this practice of blessing children. Blessing your own children, per se. Don't walk up to a stranger's child and just start blessing them. But just the act of blessing your children. In the Old Testament, when a father blessed a child, we think of like Abraham blessing Isaac or Isaac blessing Jacob. The blessing had a lot of power to it. It wasn't just some word spoken over the child. It would literally kind of set the course of that child's life. And the blessing was always given from the father to his children, or from some greater authority figure to maybe a less important authority figure. Essentially, what you're doing when you bless your children is you are praying for them. Usually what I do is I try to every night, if the kids are home, I'll go into their room, maybe bless them with some holy water, put my hand on their head and speak the blessing that Moses spoke over Israel. I think it's may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you, be gracious to you, and grant you peace. And I pray that over them, and I bless them every night. We believe in the Catholic Church that a married couple have a kind of special grace or a kind of special help from God to raise their children and to guide them on the right path. If you're a father or if you're a mother, you have a special role in your child's life that no one else has. They're looking to you, and that's a God-given place that you have in their lives. I've heard it said at our parish, fathers are the priests of their home. And if you think about it, what does a priest do? Right? A priest does a couple things. He stands before God on behalf of the people, and he stands before people on behalf of God. And when you bless your child, what you're doing is, in a sense, you're standing before God on behalf of your child, and you're praying for them. And also when you are teaching your child the truth of the gospel or the truth of Christianity, you are standing in the place of God for that child, so to speak. Now, some of you might be saying, well, I'm not married, I don't have kids, or I am married, I don't have kids. That may be true, but you still have people that God has put in your life. You have family members, maybe you have a spouse, you have friends in your life, you have co-workers. God says that every Christian, no matter who they are, is in some sense a priest, or you could say a priestess. And what that means is that, especially for a Catholic, when they go to Mass and they come to God with their prayers and everything in their life, they come and they stand before God on behalf of everyone in their lives. You can come before God and ask for God's blessing on the people in your life. You may not be able to pray over them personally, that might be a little too weird for them, but you can ask God to rain down blessing on them. In the same way, when we stand before people, our co-workers or our family members or our friends, it's important to remember that we, as Christians, we stand there in the place of God for them. Now, of course, please understand, when I say stand in the place of God, I don't mean that we actually assume that we are God. What I mean by that is that you may be the only connection to God that your co-workers or your friends or anybody else sees. And so in that sense, you kind of stand in the place of God for them. But getting back to the original point, the idea of blessing your children, the idea of blessing those around you, I think that as we pray those small prayers, maybe throughout the day for our co-workers or our family members, as we say those small blessings over our children, maybe every night or every morning, I think we weave kind of a spiritual net underneath them.